What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the Fresh Finance Podcast. My name is Thomas Elms. I've got my co-host here, as always, Kyle Ryan, and today is a special episode. It's episode 31, and we wanted to put out just a quick video, kind of just celebrating the fact that we've gotten to 35 episodes. We wanted to talk about kind of how Kyle and I started this, why we started it, some of the things that we've talked about. So much has changed in the world and investing and financial planning since we've started. And we also just kind of wanted to reflect on ourselves and how much we've changed as advisors and how much this podcast has changed us. To be frank, and Kyle, I'd love to just have you dive in and kind of give your initial thoughts on 30 episodes, man. I mean, I know that you and I, whenever we first started this, we were talking about the statistics around podcasts and the reality that most podcast episodes don't make it past like 10. It's like 80% don't make it past 10 and 95% don't make it past 20.
Yep.
And we're at 30.
We're here.
Would love to just kind of get your take on that.
Yeah, it's been a great journey. Doesn't it feel like we did more than 30? I mean, technically we have.
Like it.
Not all of them have been aired. We ran into some compliance issues last year and before we even started. So it's been a journey. Wouldn't trade it. But it's just amazing times. We were talking about how we met offline. We were just we met because we both passed the CFP at a really young age. We both celebrated on LinkedIn. I came across Thomas's post and was like, wow, man, that's fascinating. Like, congratulations. We're two peas in a pod. And he said, we should do a podcast or something, talk about it. And here we are, man, 31 episodes. So very excited to be here. Kind of what we wanted to talk about is, what's happened? What has changed between episode 1, now episode 31? What has changed in not only the advisor world, the podcast world, but there's been a lot of changes in the last couple of years. So definitely want to dive in on it. But Thomas, I pass it back to you. What things have changed in your life, either personally, professionally, in the advisor world since we started doing this?
Yeah, and I think like the lead up for me, and I always mentioned this when we were starting, is the thing that I love about the podcast is it forces accountability on both of us.
Yeah.
And the fact that if we're going to talk about something, especially in this format, we need to know as much about it as we possibly can. And in all reality, that just makes us better advisors. And I know that we set off in this trend line where we just wanted to have at least one episode on each segment of financial planning, like, cash flow, taxes, retirement, insurance, whatever it may be. And it's just so crazy to see how you and I, as CFPs, we know this subject matter, but we were able to dive so much deeper. And it started to spring on to other things like having guests on and kind of getting out of our own, financial planning conversation or persona and talking about things that matter and trying to find ways to help educate anybody that's listening to, better understand these things and realize the importance of them, and it's just so crazy the timing of it all, because part of me wishes we would have started this in January of last year, right? Because last year 2022 was just such a crazy year in the stock market and, the US government and so many different areas. And we were able to kind of recap that at the beginning. And even this year has been crazy with, regional banks collapsing, a lot of different situations, the debt ceiling, that's a conversation we're going to be having here on later episodes because it's coming more prevalent here as of right now. But, just being able to have a medium where if we want to talk about something, we can get together and talk about it and share it with people as professionals to, help them maybe better understand something.
I love it. You hit the nail on the head. Education and knowledge are very powerful. We're not trying to give blanket advice, but again, something that I've noticed that's really changed over the past few months, past few years, especially since I really started in this career, is people are recognizing the need for personalized, unique financial advice. No longer are the days where you go see your stockbroker for this, and then you go see your insurance broker for this, and then your accountant. These things are becoming more and more coordinated, and it's that much more impactful for you to have a team put together and just be on top of it. So I think, something I'm excited that we've done and are going to continue to do is just put feelers out there, put educational material out there to make you think. about something you otherwise may not have.
Yeah.
And, that's where the world is heading. That's what we've fully embraced, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm really excited. I think, call it the second chapter of this podcast, the next 30 episodes, is like focusing on some more unique situations, or just some more specific situations, and having guests on to talk through that, because I think
Absolutely.
the specialized part, kind of the personal part of what you're talking about, really is happening. Is we're starting to see advisors becoming more geared towards specific segments of people that they're passionate with serving. It was originally kind of like you said, you just kind of found a financial advisor in your area, and you work with them for better or for worse. And with this digital age, and with how accessible it is with meeting online, via Zoom or whatever platform you're using, you're kind of looking for the best possible advisor in the country that
Exactly.
suits your specific needs. And having conversations with people that are experts in those specific needs, I think is a really cool opportunity for us to become, more knowledgeable about, certain pockets of this financial planning world, because you can't know it all.
Yep.
And the
Wouldn't
second that you think you do, you're wrong,
You're in trouble.
and
Yeah.
I think it's just that kind of continual growth for us, where, we can kind of start having conversations that are stimulating and are educational for not only the people that we're trying to, appeal to on the podcast, but they're also stimulating for us as well.
Yep. I'm looking forward to guests, because it's going to really bring in that more specific niche sort of planning, those conversations. So whether it's case studies, success stories that we've seen in the past, bringing accountants, attorneys, what have you on,
Yeah.
our guests in the past again.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of success with that. So there's a lot of good things coming, a lot more education to be had. We've touched on 30 different topics, and I'm sure we can think of 30 more.
Yeah. 100%, and on the guest side too, the success stories I think is interesting. And we're going to have here, on the podcast, we're going to interview some people that can kind of share some of those success stories, but also some unique observations. We've got a professional athlete that is in the list there. We've got somebody who's become very popular on social media that we're going to have on there to just kind of share their experience with money, right? Not their specific financial life, but sharing their specific realities about coming into money, how they're using it, what types of things they're doing with it, and, to kind of like broaden that scope. And so that's something I'm really excited about too.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
The more the merrier.
And the last thing that I would say is, one thing I would love to see is outreach from the people that are listening to ask us and to talk about certain subjects that they're curious about. I would love to see outreach on maybe specific topics or questions, and there's no wrong answer to that, right? Is whatever you think would be interesting to talk about, or you'd like to hear our opinion on, just reaching out and throwing that our way so that we can talk about it. Because that's what, for the most part, this is all about, is growing an audience, but also gearing the content that we're talking about based off of what the audience is looking to learn more about. So I'm super excited about that as well.
Yeah. The more questions, they're always welcome. We've had a number of come on, and we've based entire episodes around them, so they're always appreciated. If you feel like you are an expert, or you have a career in a given subject that do you think would be interesting to talk about, let us know. We'd love to do it.
Absolutely. Well, Kyle, cheers to 30. It's been a great ride. I'm super excited for the next chapter. We really appreciate everybody that's been watching and listening. We appreciate your support and hope that you'll continue to do so. And we look forward to episode 32. Thanks so much, guys.